I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
We got good news and we got bad news. Bad news is reverse swept yesterday. I told you it was an ugly board.
Yeah.
Things are weird going down the stretch here. Got half of Tavares. No Nylander point in that game. Somehow that Matthew Nyes goal stands. I don't understand that. The scoring dried up in that game. The scoring in San Jose, Vancouver didn't exist until 8 minutes into the third period. Nothing much from our buddy Philip Hronek. Columbus couldn't get through. Good news.
It's nothing good about last night. But hey, we said that before we got off the show. We said, go easy. These games before the break, they're really, really tough to predict. And last night was a great example of it.
Yeah, Hronek can absolutely do that. I had a lot on him personally on other stuff too. But welcome to NHL Puck Props on Covers, YouTube, on X, presented by Sports Interaction. Crosby update. We'll get right to that, James Ferguson. I like that. That's where we're going to lead things off when we get to the rundown. But I mean, Wednesday was a 6+ unit day, so on the week we're still up. I just hate the roller coaster swings of it, right? Yeah. Like I would rather like 1 unit on Wednesday and 1 unit on Thursday and just do that as opposed to waking up. Everybody's sick in the house. I'm going to bed. Fever dreams. Fever dreams with games on the line when you got a lot going on with the Leaf game and you got a lot invested in that Hronek bit. We're pretty vivid on the sports betting side of things, like Philip Hronek dreams in my fever state last night while I was trying to sleep. Oh, well, it's Friday, Super Bowl this Sunday, 4 Nations kicking off next week. And I think everybody's sick there, Mike Ray. I like the 4 Nations. I don't know if we'll get to it next week, bud, but let's be honest. The variance in the outcomes in this, it's anybody's game just because of the format, no? Like Finland's not that big of an underdog here.
No, I mean, no one's played together, right? I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on how quickly the group comes together, how quickly the players in the group, accept their roles and what type of goaltending you're going to get. So I don't think that, I mean, clearly on paper, you're going to notice that there should be massive favorites and massive underdogs, but it's a short tournament like this. Do we know that the Americans care as much as the Finns do? Finns are always a team that catches people by surprise in these tournaments. The Swedes, they got their good fair share of talent. I don't know. It's a tough one to handicap, but obviously the favorites going into this are probably going to be, US and Canada because on paper they're better.
There's only so many minutes to play, though. You can't play 12 forwards at one time, and that's the thing. So how are they going to divvy up? The ice time's going to be big. Darren Folks I like Finland and Sweden. I think if you bet Finland and Sweden outright to win, I think that's not a terrible route. I think I got some Sweden at plus 425 around there. I think that's a good number. Finland was plus 700. Holding on to those guys. It is absolutely coin flipping time with it. But big news for the 4 Nations team. Anthony Cirelli is banged up. Look out. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
No, but that kind of goes to what Coop was doing. Like, he's going to get Hagel and Cirelli together just because they have experience playing together. Like that looked like to be a lot of his.
Well, there's trust there, right? There's trust with, because again, you're coming into a tournament like this, you're not asking every guy to play their normal roles on the teams that they come on or come from. But, with a guy like Cirelli, if you need a shutdown guy to, play against Matthews or play against some of the other guys, there's a trust factor there, knowing that not only is he one of the guys that, has helped Coop win his Stanley Cup, playing that role in Tampa, he's a great penalty killer too. And you need good guys to do that in a short tournament like this.
Yeah, and that's where I think guys like Mitchie are really important, guys that can play both sides and things, because shutting down the elite of elite power plays is probably going to be the difference in that tournament. Talking about, we'll get to Crosby here, Cirelli banged up. Be interesting to see, because Canada has a lot of names that didn't get on that list, and anybody who's not playing and they pick up guys like Suzuki or Scheifele, the team might be stronger. Like, not obviously if Crosby, but like if Cirelli goes down, if Crosby's out and they bring in Mark Scheifele, is it a massive downgrade? I love Crosby. I love his leadership, but like Scheifele's proven to be an absolute stud too. So
he's been unbelievable this year. Yeah.
I like it. Let's get rolling. And we get right into the situation. Pittsburgh at the Rangers. And we're going to go, well, the Rangers are -2. For the 5 games, they got -200 or shorter favorites. Over under sitting at 6 in this game. Pittsburgh team total under 2.5, -120. You tell me what this sounds like. Crosby skated on Thursday, but solo without the team. What does that tell you about his probability to play today?
Probably not ideal. I think Crosby's situation is a very unique one, because he's the captain of the Canadian team. And I think there's an understanding with Pittsburgh about, where they are as a team in Pittsburgh, but also what Crosby represents to the game of hockey, and obviously what he represents for the Canadian team as being the captain, and him wanting to be the guy that plays with some of the other best guys in the league. So I could actually see the Pittsburgh Penguins doing both Canada and Crosby a favor here and say, hey man, our games don't really mean much. We're kind of out of it. Why don't you just, get the rest you need and make sure you're ready for the Canadian team in the coming days. That's the only guy I would feel like would probably deserve that treatment and be involved in that conversation, because his resume has allowed that sort of stance to be taken in this situation. So the injury looked bad, it's whether it's an elbow, whether it's a shoulder, if a couple extra days helps them feel better to be more ready to play for Canada, I think that's the approach that Crosby's taken. Crosby's a prideful guy, man. He wants to play for this Canadian team. I think it would kill him to not be able to participate in this event, just because of, the excitement around playing with his best friend, Nate McKinnon, playing with Connor McDavid, playing with Cale Makar, Mitch Marner. The names go on and on. These guys haven't had this opportunity in a very long time.
And then he's got to wear the C once and then hand it off to McDavid. Right? Like, that's the setup for it. So I do like that angle. There's not much, like, they don't need to rush him back. They're already missing Gino. Like, this is a team that had a little push, but like I said yesterday, I believe they're in that bottom 3 with Buffalo. Who else is in that bottom?
Chicago.
And Chicago. No, in the East.
Oh, Buffalo.
Is it just them? Buffalo.
No, there's one other thing. Philly's the other
and
team.
Philly's the other, where I think, and we mentioned that the Rangers, you said they had to have a big game, and they did.
Yeah, must win, and it was, and they did.
And that's kind of scary, right? When they're starting to play meaningful games on February 6th and February 7th, like, does that go a long way in terms of getting you prepared for 7 games in round 1?
Yeah, absolutely does. I remember in my career, there was a situation like this. My first year in St. Louis, we came out of the All-Star break. We were last in our conference. I think we were 12 points out of a playoff spot. And we went on this incredible run to finish the season, where it's like the last 25 games, I think we went 23-2 or something like that.
Oh.
It was ridiculous. And we got into the playoffs, and we ended up clinching the 6th seed in the conference. And we felt that because we were playing that brand of hockey for so long, getting into that we were going to be better prepared for playoff. And it went the complete opposite. It kind of felt like just getting there was satisfying enough for some guys in our group, where, the grind that it took to get to that point took a lot out of us. Right. And you think about going on a run to the Stanley Cup Finals, you got to win 16 games, right? 16 games. You're probably playing an average of 24, maybe, right? If you win each series 4-2. So it's, and you think of guys that come out of that, they're taping themselves together and, they're grinding their way through it. When you're playing that for this long, yeah, it could, depending on how you come out of it, it could take a toll on you, but it could also catapult you knowing that you just feel comfortable playing in these type of games because you've been doing it for so long.
Chat's buzzing. Hello to everybody just joining us now. Talking about some Pittsburgh. That lineup without Crosby, it ain't pretty. Beauvillier, Raquel, and Rust on that top line. Bunting, Cody Glass, and Danton Heinen on the second line. Not pretty. Hasn't been pretty all year. And now you're missing your top two centers. That's when things really get ugly. I don't know. I like this. I was thinking about Rangers. The struggle here was it Rangers team total over 3.5 because Pittsburgh's still that team to bet against? Goaltending not that great. Or is it Pittsburgh team total under 2.5? So settled. They're similar prices settled on the Pittsburgh team total. We'll see where that goes. Hopefully Crosby stays out. And I think if people are talking about shutouts, don't forget to do that thing if you can. Bet all the Pittsburgh player under points because you might get a better price and have more outs for that shutout. Let's go. Islanders, Winnipeg. All of a sudden, you got the number one team in point percentage over the last 30 days in Winnipeg, 11-2-1, 51 goals for, 27 against. And the Islanders, who are mired in consistently being inconsistent and not being good enough or bad enough to do anything. They're not bad enough to be down in the dumps to get a good pick. They're not good enough for that number 8 spot. But hey, they're the scam team of the century. And
scam team.
they are, to put in Andy Francis' words. Absolutely. But they're 10-3 in the last 30 days, straight up, 38 goals for, 24 against. The Islanders are in Winnipeg tonight and then Minnesota tomorrow before the break. This is looking like a Sorokin versus Connor start. Duclair's on that top line. He's plus 155 for a point. But there's a couple things going on in this game, and obviously there's some big minutes for Tony DeAngelo, who is getting them because of Dobson, Pollock, and now Scotty Mayfield's on the IR. Same with Matty Barzal. Like that blue line is beat up. When you got to get Tony DeAngelo over from Russia to come in and play 27 minutes a game, you are depleted. But opportunity always better than skill set, I think, and I think there's more value in it, right? The best availability is availability. Tony DeAngelo for an assist. This could be a low-scoring game. Or this could be a Friday showdown, bud, where it's 6-5. And you're like, yeah, saw that coming. But Tony DeAngelo for assist, plus 175 at Sports Interaction. Seeing this as low as plus 137 in other play that Tony D has that Russian gas.
You saw that.
Oh, God. No, that's some great content with the Russian gas stuff. But I think in a game that projects to be low scoring, Sorokin versus Hellebuyck kind of screams 3-1. Let's take a swing on a point for an assist here at plus 175, but let's get greedy. Connor, Scheifele, Velarde, top line, no points, plus 700. Under plus 700.
They got shut out last game.
I know. But like this is a team that can win 2-0 and that second line's going too. Right? You talked about how engaged their defense is. Their defense can scam some points too and get out of this game. 1-1, 2-2 overtime. We might be able to scoot one out. But if I'm going that side, you always got to go the other side too. So we're taking that top line in the Islanders. Duclair, Horvat, and Lee, no points. Plus 350.
Okay. That one I see a little bit more realistic, but
that's the thing. That's the thing about those plus 700s. The game they got shut out, Carolina, was it the Carolina Winnipeg game?
Yeah, last game, Carolina Winnipeg. Yeah.
Guess what? Both of those top lines didn't cash. Plus 575, plus 575.
Yeah. No, it's you make a valid point.
I don't expect people to enjoy this bet. I don't. Like, it's not fun betting a full line under points. Just put it to bed, see how it goes. But for those Dans out there that want to bet points, Tony DeAngelo's your point guy, plus 175. Who are the goalies? It's going to be, it looks like Hellebuck's confirmed. Sorokin is likely. So that's the spot where that is. So big minutes for D'Angelo. Hopefully low scoring game going into the break. Nashville, Chicago. Got to go with our boy Ryan Donato on that top line. Slaggert didn't find the score sheet, but I thought he'd have 42 points after the way we talked about him on Wednesday. But Donato had his shots. I think he had a team high 8 shot attempts, finished with 3. So this plus 140 is pretty big. Seeing as low as like plus 112. So this could go down. Nashville 73 shots allowed last 2 games. Let's talk about that Nashville to make the playoffs prop, Carlo. It's not good.
It's not.
No.
It's not at all.
They're 22-1 to make the playoffs. They're riding a 5-game losing streak. If they lose out going into the break, is it Dunzo in Nashville with this new roster?
It's Dunzo now. There's 18 points out of a playoff spot, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. I think the best approach for them is to sell off some of their assets that they're maybe not happy with. Let a lot of their young players play, recoup, draft picks and stuff like that, and try to slide into the top 5 of the lottery.
Yeah, right? They have pieces going forward, right? Like they have a goalie, they got a number 1 guy in Forsberg, they got a number 1 D-man in Yossi. But like I know Yossi's going to stay there, and I don't know what his contract is. But like if you could ship off like a big name guy, you could absolutely replenish everything you wanted to, especially with the cap going to be a little different going forward. Don't hear anybody talking about him, so I'm sure his contract is probably team friendly, or it's not in a situation where they're going to ship things out.
So Yossi has 3 more years left at $9 million a year. So imagine they make him available.
That's what I'm trying. Like, is that's appetizing for someone?
He's 34 years old. He's got 3 years left, so he'll be 38 years old after this deal. Should be appetizing. I mean, he's still pretty productive at his age.
But looking through the list, who needs that? Florida could use. They got Ekblad, but Florida could use like a PP1 guy. Toronto, no. Tampa Bay, no. Washington has 2 of them. Carolina, I don't know their money situation, but I know Carolina wouldn't mind. Devils situation.
The Ottawa Senators could use them. The Detroit Red Wings could use them.
Yep.
Boston Bruins could use them. New York Islanders could use them.
Yeah, New York Islanders could use anybody on that blue line right now. Leafs could use Ryan O'Reilly, absolutely. For
Minnesota Wild, Dallas Stars with Heiskanen being out.
Oh, and Labushkin's banged up now too.
Yeah. Well, Dallas has a ton of cap space available to them too with the Sagan and Heiskanen contracts on LTIR.
Woo.
So they can make that happen now and then worry about the cap repercussions with the injection that the cap's going to get for next year.
Are you going to be doing trade deadline at the desk for TSN? Attaboy.
Yep. I will be there.
Got the suit picked out yet or no?
Yeah.
Is that your best suit day of the year?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's the A-game suit, the new suit?
Oh, yeah. It's always the A-game, yeah.
Oh, nice. Looking forward to it. What a nice day that is. Like the prep's so funny, and then you're like, and it's a dud day.
Yeah.
No, that looks like a fun day to work. Absolutely. So we're just going to go Donato here. I said 4 shots. I said 3. He had 4 shots on goal in that last game. 1 goal, 1 assist, 17 plus minutes. Team high 8 shot attempts. That was versus Edmonton. His 4 shots on goal is live. That's plus 350. Nashville 73 shots allowed over the last 2 games. Small sample, but could be a trend going forward of a team that, like Carlos said, maybe just realized not everybody's job is safe, and they could be on the move, as we discussed that anybody might be on the move on that team. 4 plays, that's all we got. But as we look at this Colorado-Edmonton game, Edmonton minus 200, over-under sitting at 6.5, and you're saying, holy hell, Edmonton at minus 200 versus Colorado 6.5. A lot of that has to probably do with the goalie situation in Colorado. It's not going to be Blackwood.
Yeah, it's going to be Wedgwood tonight, right?
No, No, that's where we're getting this price. Wedgwood is doubtful.
Oh, okay.
Do you know who it is?
It's a guy with an O, I think, isn't it?
No, he works. He gets coal out of the ground. Let's say that.
I don't know.
Trent Miner.
Miner, that's right.
Miner.
Yes. Miner.
That's it.
Yeah, he's the guy that started in Chicago that night, right? Remember we talked about
Yeah,
that
we were
earlier?
talking. Yes. Let me bring that game up because he's made one. He's played 2 games. He came in once and he made that one start. That's so funny. The only other start was that game we were talking about at Chicago. Stopped 17 of 20, lost 3-1. So that's what's being priced into this spot. Now I don't know where you are with the Mikko and Marty thing here, but I'm a Marty Necas greater than Mikko Rantanen guy. 8 points, 3 goals, 5 assists in the 7 games since being acquired. Mikko just wasn't. Talk to the fans. See what the fans said about Mikko. Like, they didn't love Mikko's 2-way game. They didn't like him. Anybody?
In Colorado?
Yeah. Like, there were issues with him.
Right.
I think Marty's ceiling could be a little higher in the spot, and you're starting to see it in Colorado. Friday is the final game. Talk to me about this one. Friday is the final game for both teams. These are the 2 lucky
They get an
teams.
extended break?
Oh yeah, they don't have to play the Saturday.
PJ on a Saturday morning before the Super Bowl? Oh.
So
is
that legit? Like, these guys have the best schedule for the break by far.
Yeah, 100%. Extra 2 days? I think there's 2 games on Sunday. Whoever plays on Sunday has to feel terrible. Like, how did we get stuck with this schedule? We got to play on Super Bowl Sunday and a day after everyone else in the league has played?
Yeah. Top team in the East, Washington Capitals, hosting the Utah Hockey Club when 12:30 on Sunday afternoon.
Like, terrible. And if guys want to get out to their destinations, they got to get a PJ just hours before the Super Bowl. Like, nobody, sport guys want to watch the Super Bowl. I don't know.
All right. Combination of backup goaltender rookie where, I mean, he's only made 1 start. First home start. If he does go for it, will be his first home start. Who knows? They could go Mackenzie Blackwood again, but highly unlikely. Kind of a snoozer. I mean, this total's 6.5, bro. Like, we haven't seen 6.5 totals anymore.
Wow, they're expecting a lot of scoring? Where is this game?
Yesterday's game, all the games until the late slate were all 5.5.
Yeah, no. Well, today we got 2 6s today and a 6.5. Interesting.
Do you want to hit this under?
But it's Colorado Edmonton, though, man. They got firepower.
But that's priced in. That's why we're getting the 6.5, though.
Right. I mean, you're
6.5.
You're better on those angles than I am.
Big number, but like, it's like
what have been the previous matchups? Let me see.
No.
4-3 was the last matchup. 4-1, 5-1, 6-2.
One-sided.
The under is favored 6-4.
The under in Colorado's last 10 games, which is probably a better indicator of what kind of hockey they're playing, is 3-7.
They haven't gone over in back-to-back meetings, so maybe that's a trend we could follow.
Or just Colorado's playing better under hockey right now.
Yeah, true.
Edmonton's been profitable to the under. They're 6-4 to the under in their last 10. The over was the 4-3 game where they had Calvin Pickard in net. Oh, Mickey, throw that in there. Colorado.
Do it.
Under 6.5, minus 115. Sports.
Love it. Let's do it. Giddy up.
Under suck. Like, it's so insane. That's going to be minus 115 too. I appreciate it. It's so insane to watch how slow the clock goes when you're betting on under hockey.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you brought that up.
It's the slowest thing.
It's the worst. And then when you need an over, you blink and 10 minutes have gone off the clock.
Nuts. Yeah. No whistles.
Crazy.
Yeah.
No penalties, nothing.
No, but if we're looking for any schedule spot to take advantage for this giant break, this could be it with favorable schedules with these guys checking out.
Maybe a round robin on all the unders in the slate tonight.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Really?
Hey, we might if if history repeats itself, we might see a blockbuster trade today because Fridays and lately in the NHL have been made for blockbuster trades,
News dump day.
right?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Would you want to get dealt before the break?
Yes.
You would. So that would be a favor handed down from upper management to a player.
Well, because here's the thing. Anytime you get traded, it's like a quick whirlwind, right? You get notified by the other team's PR staff. They have a flight booked for you. You got to jump on the flight. Depending on when that flight is, how much time do you really have to pack? How much are you really packing? Do you have a family to bring with you? I think coming to the break, you have 2 weeks to find, a living situation for yourself or for your family, and gives you a little bit more time to get settled, to come in and just ease into like getting used to driving to the rink or getting used to, knowing different paths to take in the city, versus you come in and it's like you stay in a hotel beside the rink and it's just like every day something new comes up and it's just like you don't really have time for anything else.
I could just put myself in those shoes, picture just the arguments with me and the wife about like, I just got to go play hockey. And then you're like, okay, you're in charge. Go find a house and you come back. And it's just like, I found something here. You're like, no, that's not like, oh, it's got to be so stressful, right?
Because it is. It's mid-season trades for players is, especially with families, are stressful. And sometimes, guys don't even uproot their family. They just stay where they're at because kids are in schools, right? It's tough to just move them right out of schools. So, but yeah. I would prefer to get traded before the break.
All week, man. All week.
Yeah. The worst is getting traded while you're on the break. That's the worst because you're literally stuck on an island somewhere. You're probably with some current teammates.
Brutal.
You're like, yeah, guys, I just got traded.
And you're trying to be chill, and then the wife's there too, and being like freaking out about, no, we need to
you're also freaking out yourself because you're like, okay, how am I going to get my stuff out of where we are, get it to the other place? I'm with my current teammates who are now my former teammates. It's just a mess.
Whew. Go buy a house, sweetie. Yeah. Super Wee says, yeah. Just check in on it. Let me see what you're doing there first. Dallas Kings. Interesting one here. The Kings are a slight -115 home favorite, total at 5.5. I like Dallas here on the money line. Dallas coming off a 2-1 loss to Anaheim on Wednesday, but Heiskanen's out and Ilya Lyubushkin is banged up. The LA Kings out of nowhere have scored 10 goals in 2 games, which is literally like the same amount of goals they scored in the 8 games previously combined. Ottinger will probably go today is my best guess because they have San Jose on deck for tomorrow. Yeah. So there's an interesting spot there. The last time that these guys played was early December in LA. What was it? The Kings were a +105 home dog. So there's a big price correction here just because of the injuries on the blue line in Dallas. Kind of like the Dallas money line, but guess what? It's Friday. I'm old, and I'm not playing the 10:30 game. I'm not.
Good call. Good
I'm
call.
not. Just going to enjoy some sleep. We're going to play those early games. I'm playing the under in Colorado at Edmonton at 9:00, and I might just fall asleep before that ends too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's how you save it for the rest of the weekend.
That's how you get through an under.
Well, for following trends, the under in this matchup is heavily favored. It's 8-2 over its last 10 games between these two teams, including the under hitting in 7 straight games with these two teams playing.
Yeah, so, I don't see. I think it's a good spot to stack some unders for sure. I believe it's Roberts. They've kind of moved the lines around. Robertson, Stankoven, maybe, but I don't think they correlate perfectly. Someone's saying Winnipeg, #1 power play. Yep, they've got 5 power play goals over the last.
Oh, against the worst penalty kill. Yeah, that's a good angle to look at.
But remember, it is tricky, and Andy pointed it out to us. Worst penalty kill. They don't take many penalties. I'm just looking at I'm looking at their game log. PK went. The PK was perfect. They had 1 kill last game, 2 kills the game before, 3-3, 2-1-1. In their last 6 games, their last 7 games, they've only given up 1 power play goal. So I wouldn't read too much into that one. Could be a slow moving game. How about some slow moving games on Friday? Watch this 6-5 across the board. That's how it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up, buddy. Wrap up a good week.
Yeah, sorry about Thursday. You're welcome about Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's how that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you puppers.
Hey, we'll bounce back tonight.
Appreciate everybody there in the chat. Have yourself a great weekend. Don't overdo it at the Super Bowl. Hey, and don't do what I did last year after losing in the Super Bowl. Don't go online and play blackjack until 2 o'clock in the morning. It's the worst betting decision I've had.
No.
2023. Yeah, don't do that. No, just go to bed. Go to bed solves a lot of things when you're at this age for sure.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, comment, share. Appreciate everybody there. Fly Eagles fly. Don't forget to get Jalen Hurts for MVP plus 370. I think it's a good buy. Plus 340.
You like the Eagles?
I do like the Eagles. Yeah. No, it doesn't that I like the Eagles. That I've bought in positions where now I'm an Eagles fan.
Okay.
Right. I had to get Jalen Hurts MVP at that number. He has so many paths to get that, and I think they've swung the Saquon Barkley situation way too far. Running backs need to put up a monster game in order to get that MVP, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tell me the last running back to win an MVP in a Super Bowl. 0 in the last 20 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Let's go. Have a great week, and everybody stay safe. Everybody's sick. Stay away from sick people.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Appreciate you, beauties. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.